Fire away.
What are your thoughts on your class now that you've got it all in place?
I think it's a really solid class. I think our coaches did an unbelievable job, and again, being in another year to where they can develop some of those relationships, getting in these schools with a lot of talent in this area. I thought they did a great job of going out and getting on the right guys, evaluating the right guys, and with a smaller class, with only being able to sign 19 this year, I think it's really solid. And coming here, when my first year here, having 67 scholarship players, you're having to do a couple different things in order to, get the depth you need, continuing to build your team with only having 25 allotted spots every year. So we've had to push some guys forward, which this year, this past year we pushed 6 forward. I think 2 were starters, and we had the opportunity to redshirt the other 4. And then we had the 19 total this year. So it's getting better every year. Next year, we should be closer to 22, 23 spots, and then being at the full 85 from there. So it's been a lot of planning. It's been a lot of hard work, and just figuring out different ways to add to your depth. But I definitely think this class is very solid. Met a lot of needs at a bunch of different positions. I feel like it's a class that can come in and help us compete for championships.
I feel like it's the best you've had since you've been here, just on paper, the folks you brought?
Time will tell. I don't think you ever truly know until, 2, 3, 4 years down the road. And I think that's anywhere I've ever been. Some of the times where you think your best classes end up being not your best. So I think it's all, part of them, how quickly these men have come in, they adjust, getting around our program, our culture, and how quickly they can get out on the field helping us make plays.
Go ahead.
You signed 14 in December, so it seems the early signing period was a positive move for you guys.
Yeah, it worked out well for us, again, and I think a lot of it's big credit to our coaches, the way they got out and targeted the right kids. They got on, the right guys early enough to where they built those relationships to where, because being able to get that signing period in December and getting them locked down was crucial for us. It was challenging for us. We missed 2 weeks really out of the 3 in December, having played in the championship game. You lose that weekend, and a lot of that week for game planning. Come back, for a week to where you're trying to game plan a little bit for your bowl game, which you're leaving the following Tuesday. So you really have one huge weekend where we had all our guys that were committed in, and then after that is dead after the bowl game. So. It was a big challenge for us, but our guys did a great job of staying on it, and we were fortunate enough to all the guys that we had committed sign with us.
Coach, you had 5 junior college players coming in. Are those guys that you kind of want to come in and fill immediate roles that you felt like kind of y'all had patches y'all need to work on?
Yeah, at any time you're getting a junior college guy, you're hoping to get an older guy that's a little bit more mature and possibly more ready to play and help you compete in certain positions. Those positions were guys that we were losing some productivity, and we needed guys to come in and get ready to step in and compete. And I think the biggest thing, 2 of those guys are already on campus, working with our strength staff, making sure they dive into our culture, and they're going to have huge springs for us. So, that'll be key.
Who are the 2 that are on campus?
Well, there's more than 2. There's actually 3 early enrollments, I do believe, and then obviously Sophie, McMillan, and we also got Casey Martin.
Did the success of the last couple of years of going to bowl games, getting to the championship game, did that pay off on the recruiting trail?
I think just every year building those relationships, I think there's more buzz around our program. Yeah, I think that's definitely played a role. And being able to, the excitement, the guys are excited about North Texas, and understanding, getting up here, seeing our program, understanding what we have to offer at a Tier 1 university. You're going to get a great education. You're going to get well coached, and you're going to have the opportunity to compete for championship. That definitely helps. Also helps when your coaches work as hard as ours do. I'm proud of our guys. I've said that already. Just going out and building those relationships, especially around these 4 counties.
6 high school safeties, or guys who played safety in high school. Did you take a lot of kids in this class to help you make the adjustment to the 3-3-5 that you've been playing the last few years?
Well, that's been a position that, one, you know, we're down on numbers. I think we're -3 or 4, you know, when we lost some guys. So that's definitely one part of it. Two, just getting long guys that can go run, hit, cover. You know, you really look at our defense, you know, with our 2 safeties, you got a nickel, and then possibly some of those guys either moving to, you know, growing into outside linebackers as well. You know, just trying to find the best players in that system, you know, that give us a chance to not only be athletic, but be able to run a strike and be physical. And I'm really excited about that group.
Speaking of Case and Martin, competed in perhaps the greatest state championship game of all time, right? While he didn't end on the side of history he intended to be on, your thoughts on that game?
What a wild game. And I was actually out. I missed the last half of it, about the last quarter, so I didn't get to see the end of it unless later on I did. But yeah, what a great young man, coach's son, great family. You know, as just a student of the game, and not only is he a good football player, he's even a better person. And as everybody in the country's seen, who's seen any of the media stuff on that. So we're looking forward to him coming in here and continuing that role and continuing to develop as a leader, and hopefully be the leader of this team one day.
Pretty balanced class. Is there any area you thought you needed some help that maybe you didn't get that help in this particular class?
Well, again, it's a challenge. I think we were 7 on offense, 12 on defense. We've been a little bit further behind defensively with some depth. We've offensively we hit on some pretty good walk-ons that really came in and contributed. Guys like Mike Law and some others that you know, have played a little bit more for us, and so we were able to, having been able to get a couple of those guys early for free, we were able to move some different spots to defense and really start trying to catch them up a little bit more. And so, again, it's not ideal still yet at this point. I mean, we're still down on some numbers at every position, other than I think we finally got up offensive line to, you know, 17 or 18. We only signed 2 this class, but looking forward to pushing. That's 2 of the guys we're going to push forward. And some other areas counting forward. So next year's class should be around 22, 23 if all else, if everything stays the same as it is now. But, you know, I think that's definitely a position, that offensive line, you're always trying to find those big guys. You know, they're challenging to find. Everybody's looking for them, and so you got to meet those needs. And I think overall, past that, I think we got about what we thought we would and should. In this class, knowing moving to next year, we're going to have some other needs we're going to have to fill, but it was best case scenario for this season.
You've talked about the culture of the program. How do you transition these new players into the culture you created?
Well, you'd hope by year 3 that it's funny when you start hearing your players saying this is how we do things or this is not how we do things. You know, that's when they're starting to catch on. The young guys come in, they fit in. And you know, hopefully your team's starting to grow and develop and mold them into who we are. And that's when it starts getting good. When the coaches always have to do it, it's very challenging. But at the same time, you have to do, as a coaching staff, you have to reset every year. And that's something we talk about. I mean, nothing we did this past season is going to help us any in this next season. And so it's always resetting the clock. Going back to day one, who are we, what's our culture, what's our core values, and make sure everybody's on the same page and pulling the rope in the same direction. But after a couple years, again, you got to have the leaders on your team who understand it, step up and be great leaders for the young guys coming in.